Okay, I'm going to do a free-form narration along with these photos. You're looking from the road or the base of the property up toward the passive solar house. It's a cabin design. That's the heavy-duty trailer with a hog pen on it you're seeing there. And this is a photo just up the Cumberland River showing the confluence of the Obeid and the Cumberland River. The Obey is O-B-E-Y or O-B-E-D. It's spelled both ways and pronounced Obeyed by the natives, and it would be Obed otherwise. This is a shot from the base of the driveway this spring right after we bush hogged it. It's pretty well cleared. It's just beginning to grow up again. It is a passive solar house designed and built on a monolithic slab with porcelain tile on top. It's designed by a NASA research scientist and exceeds codes in every way, if there were codes. One of the big things I had to have, now there's a picture of the gate, one of the big, in the shed, Amish built shed, but one of the big things I had to have was unrestricted, so I could do what I wanted. And I designed and built this house, and it ends up, when I had the contractors come and put the metal roof and metal siding on, which is extra heavy duty metal, they looked it all over for about 20-25 minutes. There's the guy right there up on the roof, and he came back and he said it exceeds codes in every way. I've got 2x10 floor joists, so those are exposed beams for the downstairs, and then it's 2x6 construction with R19 insulation, and it's incredibly efficient energy wise. Savings over 67%. There's a shot from up near it's between the shed and the house, looking down at the road, and those are going through some of the third-year trees. And this over on the right is showing, that's probably a Cleveland pear over on the right. And there are more photos right there of the road. And then there's a perennial permanent creek in the bottom down there beyond that's on somebody else's property. That land is for sale. The land on all four sides is for sale by two other owners. That's a really good shot looking east, showing a lot of the big trees. Those are 20-25 foot trees. They're all full bearing now. They will grow up to 40 feet in height if you want. You can, or I prune them back and keep them at 25 feet. They will grow up to 40 feet. They will last. The apple trees last for 80 to 90 years. The pear trees are a little shorter lived. They'll go 40 to 50 years and maybe even 60 years of full bearing. Now, if you let the apple trees grow up to 40 foot in height, they will yield anywhere from 4 to 8 bushels a year, depending on the year. Right now, the 25 foot trees are yielding right at a bushel each. There are 35 fruit trees in there. So on more about the construction of the house, the extra thick slab and stick construction in R19 fiberglass insulation keeps the heat out and keeps in the summer and keeps the heat in the winter. It keeps the cold out in the winter. The house is covered with heavy-duty metal skin, chosen to repel not only rain, snow, and sun, but also to repel mild and mid-grade solar flare EMP bursts. Since HAARP and chem spraying have punched a hole in our ozone layer, this extra protection from harmful solar radiation is ever more important. I designed this feature looking ahead to protect in the coming years. I chose fruit trees for the property because the soil is rich, topsoil is thick, and the sloping and light was correct for apples, pears, and native papaya, or pawpaw. Cherries, peaches, and plums also excel in this area, and it will literally grow anything. The entire 1.2 acres was amended with lime following soil tests. The soil scientist told me it hadn't been farmed or cultivated for 60 years. It's lain vacant, fallow. The blueberry patch was plowed and amended with sulfuric to bring the acid level up. We found the blueberry thrived, producing a bumper crop the very first year. Let's see, we went off grid with the passive solar. It's easily connected to the grid, preferring to use a light gasoline generator with natural energy. Water necessary for the tree farm was the first improvement to the property. We ran a 220-foot line from the county water at the road up to the building site and installed a septic system. Now, it is totally unrestricted. You can do what you want, but if you put a septic system in, you need county permitting, so of course we did that. This water from a frost-free spigot at the house site watered all the trees and bushes in the first 2 years. Soon we piped water into the house, so it's plumbed into the house now. The footprint is a 14-foot 1-inch slab by 32 feet 8.5 inches, and it's designed for 2 adults. There's space leveled for a 400 square foot addition on the uphill side. I designed and built it as a hedge and a possible retirement spot, and I'm closer to retiring, and I find I'd rather move on and let somebody else take over this peaceful, bountiful micro farm. The first year I put in 16 apple trees and 11 pear trees and some decorative purple lilacs and 3 pawpaw and Cleveland pears, and the second year I added 8 to 12 more apple. And there's a list down below of everything that's in it. And as far as the house design, it exceeds codes in every way. It's ready to wire and connect either to the grid or run it off grid like we did and like we are doing. It's bush hogging today. We're bush hogging it today. So, as a matter of fact, it's 1.2 acres Tennessee farmland with passive solar 815 square foot cabin, 2 bedroom lofts upstairs, porcelain tile floor, metal skin, heavy duty metal skin, monolithic slab, shed, Sears Craftsman 20 horsepower belly mower tractor, generator, heavy duty trailer, fenced and gated, walking distance to the Cumberland River and close to wilderness areas, state parks, and Dale Hollow. Good schools and a great rural community are there. The community knows how to work and functions as a community. It's easy to work your way in and barter and trade for things. You can email me for further information at personal2@hushmail.com. Serious only. Look down below for all this information. I spent considerable time looking at raw property before I found this, and it actually kind of found me. It just spoke to me. It's a beautiful small valley, and it's the hills on both sides rise to 450 feet in elevation, with the perennial creek running down the middle. I'm going to cut this off and come right back. Okay, the passive solar house is designed and built on a monolithic slab with porcelain tile on top. The south and southeast and west windows with solar double-pane glass capture solar heat in the cold months. The warmth is absorbed by the monolithic floor. In the hot months, in the summer, blinds cover the windows during direct sunlight, allowing the natural cooling effect of the slab construction to keep the house cool. It wants to stay at 48 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer, which is the salient temperature of the ground in this region. So we're looking at over 67% heat and cool efficiency improvements just on the passive solar design alone. In the summer, with no blinds over the windows at all, we saw the highest temperature we saw was 78 degrees. So when you're managing blinds, I estimate you're going to be at about 65 degrees all the time. In the summer, you need to put in a couple little oscillating fans or ceiling fans to gently turn the air over. It makes you feel cooler. And in the winter, even with it 8 degrees outside, 8 degrees Fahrenheit outside, it was still 48 degrees inside, and that again is with no window blind management. So with just adding window blinds alone with no heat source, I calculate that it'll stay over 50 degrees, 55 degrees year round if you just manage blinds. Of course, you want an auxiliary heat source. We used a generator, and it's easy to install. Go off-grid completely with some solar panels, a little bit of propane heater, or burn wood, a wood stove, wood heater, or connect to grid. There are a lot of choices that you can to be made, and I think that's just about it. It's wrapping up, and contact me for further information or design details.